Okay, good afternoon. The subject for today's get-together is the brain and assessment. I will be distributing one pre-test, post-test, if you wouldn't mind taking a second just to, there's only 5 questions. If you need a pencil, or you need like that, anybody need? Okay, as we go through the next 20 minutes or so, I'll be hopefully answering some of those questions. You may have seen a video, picture like this before. A fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb that tree. So again, the fish, where, is it equitable, is it fair? So again, we're gonna look at assessments in that. Why do we assess in general? If you could just come up with a short phrase. Why do we need to assess as teachers? Anybody?
To see if you're learning.
To see what?
If you're learning or comprehending.
To see if you're learning, and then
Then it helps us to plan for the next step.
helps you to plan for the next step. Okay, good. Is assessing easy to do? Okay. Why? Just again, just as a thought. Why isn't it so easy to do many times?
People are so different.
People are so different. Good. Also, materials. Yes.
Well, some people are just not good test takers. They may be able to take it in a different venue and do better.
Test anxieties and so on. That's right. Now, it says assessment generates a judgment about a gap between formative and their actual performance. I'm not going to go through in detail a lot, but the goal of this presentation to review information, how information is manipulated in the brain, and examine effective strategies for how can we teach well and assess well. That's the goal for my get-together today. Teachers need to assess and monitor for the uptake of information. Okay, here, how the brain learns, just very fast. There's input from the senses. Right now, everybody's taking in sensory information. Some of it is noise, and you do not take it in. Like, nobody's saying anything about the clock that doesn't work, that I haven't put a battery in for 2 years on the wall back there, or the alphabets or so on. That's background noise. If anything, you're considering what I'm saying, so we're focused. So input from the senses. Interestingly enough, you see these stars around the classroom. I use them for sensory input, actually. They spin around slowly and they catch the light, and it may cast their eyes. So once they do, it's kind of like a waking up opportunity to like, oh, what was that? And they don't even know there was the stars that were doing it. So input from the senses. The thalamus is the workhorse of the brain. It takes all the information and decides good information, not useless information. It's sent to the lobes for processing, and then it goes to the different other lobes. The hippocampus will help to organize. Here's where we start looking at what is memory and what is good assessment. Okay, once the brain has the information, how do we access it for mastery? Memory processing. Okay, sensory input, everything around me, sense, all the senses, taste, hear, feel. Now, interestingly enough, like I said, the brain is more than aware of what I'm saying, what I'm looking like. You're also taking in the smell of the meatballs. You're taking in the temperature in the classroom. You're taking in my nervousness. You're taking in all these things together, and you're writing off certain things. So again, sensory input. If it's not used, it's transferred and it's forgotten. Initial processing. I can hold 3 to 4, they say even 7 numbers. That's why the phone number is so popular, it's 7 digits. And I can hold it for about 5 to 20 seconds. I notice I do this when I'm surfing the channels. I say, oh, I'm like 138, but let me keep checking 138, 138. I have to keep saying it to myself until nothing else is on, let me turn it to 138. Okay, so if I don't practice it again, it goes to the forgotten. Working memory, there's a rehearsal process, a loop. Elaboration, organization will lead to long-term memory. again, I'm not gonna go into great detail, but that's the general schema for it. So retrieval comes back once I elaborate it, once I do something more with the information. If I just let it sit there, it's not gonna do anything. So, just very fast, there are places for memory. The amygdala has emotions, down to parietal, short-term memory, body memories, in fact, are also included. Places for the memory, the amygdala, emotions, short-term memory on the top, and then semantic. Okay. We usually recall a piece of learning by remembering the context of emotions, sounds, smells, and locations associated with it. Let me just catch up to where I'm at. A teacher once began his English class. They were studying the novel 1984, and police came into the room, arrested him, and took him out. And the students are going like, "Oh my God, what's happening? The teacher's being arrested." And then 1 minute later, the teacher comes back in with the policeman. It was staged, but he grabbed their attention. He made it more like, my God, is there a gun involved? What happened? What happened? So again, getting them grabbed into it. Their emotions have peaked. Quick question about your memory right now. What did you have for dinner 2 nights ago? Okay. How many people know? You had Popeye's chicken 2 nights ago?
Yep, chicken and noodles.
How did you get to that? What did you picture first? A place, a face, or a person? Do you know?
I pictured where it was in my kitchen, place.
Place first actually comes up, interestingly. Where were you when you learned that Michael Jackson passed away?
Washington School.
That's Washington, D.C. See, my generation, I'd say when Kennedy died, but nowadays, I bring it up to speed here. Okay, so I just did this, episodic memory. The more associations, the more likely one is to remember the information later. And again, learners learn best when they are actively involved in interesting and challenging situations. Triggers to better assessment and recall. Let me make sure I'm catching up to myself here. Hold on a second, I'm sorry. Okay. Neuronal connections are made. Okay, now what I'd like to do is give an experiment. People are sitting generally in twos. I'm going to give us a task to do where rehearsing it is going to make it better. Now, before you do it, watch what I'm going to do. The right side of my brain controls the left side of my body and vice versa. I'm going to confuse it. So watch me. I'm going to put my palms out. I'm going to go like this, and they're going to come underneath. The partner next to me has to point to a finger, not touch, because you're sending a second information piece, but wiggle this finger, please. Oh, you're good at this. How about this one? Jeez, artists have to do. Try this just as a pair. This is like 1 second, 1 minute.
It's backwards. I'm not good at that. I think backwards.
Okay.
I didn't
So,
write anything.
did you get a chance to try again? You did?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay, good. So,
Yeah.
the first time, how many people did it the first time correctly?
My shoulder.
Okay.
First
The artist
one was correct.
and the
Second one was
musician
wrong.
do this well and stuff. But, so if you did it right the second time, well, it's not if, but you probably did it more perfectly the second time or the third time. With anything you practicing, you get to perfection. Okay, so from this discussion about storing memory and playing with memory, move into effective ways of retrieval of information. Here we have in the classroom where authentic assessment is practiced, students will demonstrate understandings of being able to use learning in different contexts. So not only in what I'm telling you, but it's in different contexts. Content, emotion. One cool thing is to ask the students, which one of these do you like the best? I just gave you 4 atomic models for the different atoms. The Bohr's model, the whatever. Which one do you like the best? Which one makes more sense to you? whatever. So you're giving them a choice and actually making them connect with what you're going over. We engage in multiple pathways of memory. If you can't retrieve it through one pathway, it may be accessible through another. Have you ever walked into a room and said, oh my God, what was I coming in here for?
Oh, yeah.
And then
One
you
of my
slowly
heroes.
retrace your steps and say, yeah, I had a drink in my, oh, ice. So, and then, you set the situation with that. Jeepers, my research project. Let me just get this, sorry. Let's see. Here's some strategies for a good assessment. Mnemonics, reflection time, projects, rubrics, frequent feedback, journaling, storytelling, role-playing. There's this one cool demonstration I have. I found this online, and I might be too loud.
Please, can we go back now? Wait, is that where we're going?
Let's get that.
Today's the day we're gonna learn about the cell. If I teach it okay, you'll know it very well. So listen up, sixth graders, no room left for haters. Let's talk about the building blocks of life, cells that make us. Cells, they're made of organelles. Try to pull it fast when the cytoplasm gels. The nucleus takes over, controlling everything. The party don't stop till the memory box is seen. Inside the vacuole, we can float around for hours. Running around with chloroplasts, loving sunlight showers. Cells, they're made of organelles.
Okay, just wanted to show you that. But the kids love it because they're singing, they're rapping along with it, they're getting the message. But you're presenting it not only through one way, but different ways. Yes.
Do you play it multiple times?
Well, I play it once, and they're jiving along with it. And then at the end of the class, I give them homework, and I'll turn it on in the background, so they're still popping and zapping through it. Let's see. So, emotion strategies. Okay. Summarizing every 20 to 30 minutes. They're finding is actually better. And community projects. The bottom line is the more sensory you give them, the better. Sing a song. One of my science teachers recommends, for the end of the chapter, have them take a popular song and rewrite the words with what they just learned in the present chapter. Okay, let me change this. Conclusion: the brain takes in, makes sense, or discards information. Make instruction meaningful, relevant, kinesthetic, hands-on. Let me just see, make sure I didn't forget anything. Oh, let me back up. Sorry, I think I missed one piece. Oh dear. There we go. Okay. This is, Kathy, you saw this. This is a video I made about the brain parts, the brain lobes.
This video will introduce you to the brain, its parts, and their functions. Your brain is enclosed in a dark skull. It needs the senses to bring information in so that it can help you navigate safely in your surroundings. Our sight is only one of the many senses that we have to examine our world. The brain is composed of 4 lobes, the frontal lobe shown here in red, the parietal lobe shown in yellow, occipital lobe in green, and the temporal lobe shown here in blue. The frontal lobe is found in front of the brain. It helps us plan things and helps us answer questions such as these. The parietal lobe helps us understand language and higher sensory processing. With the parietal lobe, we can understand symbols such as these. The occipital lobe is found in the back of the brain. It is here that the brain tries to figure out puzzles or to make sense of what is being observed. Let's test your occipital lobe. What do you see in this picture? The young lady turning to the right, or the older lady looking down?
I see both after a while.
Yeah, I see them both after a while.
What do you see in this picture? What is the orientation of the camera? Look to the background for other clues. The last of the four lobes is a temporal lobe. It is located almost in the center of the brain. This lobe is responsible for emotions, memory, and hearing. Although the brain has four lobes, the four lobes work together to process information and help you safely get through your world.
Okay, so bottom line in this whole presentation is that the more sensory you get with the kids, the more they get involved in it, the more it is challenging, an intrinsic challenge, the more they make it their own. So just again in closing, can you just turn to the person next to you and just say one area that you would like to augment in your own teaching based on brain awareness? Like what, from what you heard today, like this is one area that I'd like to explore, like finding more things online, rap songs or something like that. You understand? Okay, just for 1 minute.
Yeah, I mean, I want